This conference will now be recorded.
So guys, yesterday we have discussed one very important point you know that Python is a general purpose programming language. Yes. Uh, in this and anybody has any doubts, can you please give the raise the hand in chat box, and then I can come up with the new points. Yesterday, maybe just give me 2 minutes of the time, and maybe thoroughly we refresh the points what we discussed okay in yesterday's session. And see, you know, Python, as per the Python definition, we can say the Python is a general purpose programming language. So the main general purpose programming language is nothing but a programming language which can be used to develop software applications in any domain, and we can develop the applications without any limitations. Yes. So some of our applications yesterday we discussed about automation applications and data analytics applications, web applications, web scraping applications, scientific applications. Yes, there are different kinds of applications we can develop it, and we compare with the Java and .NET. Yes, and so which applications are not supported by Java and which applications are supported by the Python, and that kind of difference yesterday we have discussed. And certainly, and today I'm going to send you the two documents to you all people mail IDs. One is about yesterday's discussion, general purpose language, and today's talk we discuss about why Python is called as a high level programming language. So today I want to give you one more definition to Python, and say, and according to the today's discussion, so and say Python is a high level programming language. So let me define why Python is called as a high level programming language. So for that, the first we need to start from as what is actually programming languages. Yes. So before discussing about the programming languages, maybe first try to understand what is the difference between a natural language and the formal languages. Natural language and formal languages. Say a natural language is nothing but a language which is understandable by the humans, like in English, French, and some other other Deutsch, some kind of languages. Say formal languages are nothing but a languages which can understandable by the computers. Computer can understand the formal languages. So first, when you talk about the language categorization, that say here, let me draw the diagram. So when you talk, say, language, so languages are two types, and one is called as a formal language, other one is called as a natural language. First, let us, and we'll talk about natural languages. Say, see, guys, what is the difference between a natural languages and the formal languages? Once again, natural languages are the languages which are understandable by the humans. The humans can read it, humans can write it, yes, and human can and provide some meaningful information to that. Whatever they speak, whatever they do, and everything can be expressed in their natural languages. Yes, formal languages are nothing but languages which are understandable by the computers. These formal languages are further we categorized into again three types, and one is called as low level languages, and second one is called as assembler languages, and third one is called as high level languages. So when it comes to this part, again, so let me so this one is called as say the first you have to talk about formal languages. First you need to start your discussion with machine language. Machine language, and the next one is called as say and assembler language, and next one is called as a high level language. See guys, here first starts from the machine language. See, the first language which was developed to understandable with the computers is called as a machine level language, or you can also call as a low level language. This is also has a one more name like machine language, or say low level language. Say, what is actually machine level language or a low level language? Say, first let us try to understand. Machine level language or a low level language can understand only numerical strings. What do you mean by numerical strings means? Say, numerical strings are nothing but a 0 and 1. We call it as a numerical strings called 0 and 1. This is the direct understandable language by your computer. Computer means what? Your CPU, central processing unit. Your central processing unit can understand the direct numerical strings like zeros and ones in the form of electrical signals, or we can call it electronic signals. So this is the first language which was developed and understandable directly by the computers, and the computer can understand only 0 and 1s in the form of electrical signals. And but humans point of view, say this is a language understandable with a computer, but a human's point of view, it's very quite difficult to understand these zeros and ones to write the any programming or a code. You know, program means, you know guys, a set of instructions. A set of instructions. Instructions are nothing but statements, and those set of instructions are the statements we have to write using those numerical strings called 0 and 1, or numerics called 0 and 1, but actually people says numerical strings or otherwise numerics. Maybe you people get confused like, sir, string is different and numeric is different. I'm using the word numerical strings. That means these numerics which are represented in a string format, and these numerics are called as a electrical switch off, switch on and switch off signals. Yes. So in very in fast 5-6 decades back, okay, so people used to write the programs or set of instructions using this machine level language or low level language using zeros and ones. And advantage of writing the programs using low level language or a machine level language is, advantage is your program executes very fast. Why your program executes very fast means you are directly writing the program which is understandable by the computers. No translators are required. In low level language, no translators are required because you're writing your program, okay, maybe hello world program, or maybe some adding two numbers, or finding which is the largest number among three numbers, or maybe there are some kind of Fibonacci series. Whatever may be the program, if you want to write in a low level language, you write the program or a set of instructions using zeros and ones. Yes, so zero and ones are which are directly understandable with the computers, and no translators are required. That's the reason your program executes very fast. Yes, programs written in machine language are executed very fast by the computers. This is mainly because machine instructions are directly understood by the CPU, and no translation of the program is required. And moreover, there are some drawbacks also there. Advantage is programs executes very fast because no translators required, and you're writing the code directly in computer understandable language. Good, that is a very big advantage. But there are many drawbacks are also there. The main drawback is, guys, the program or set of instructions what you write in low level language is machine dependent. Machine dependent. That means the program which you write in a particular machine, that program cannot be executed in some other machine. Why? Because machine to machine, the processor, different kinds of processor configurations, machine structures may be different. So the code which you write in low level language on particular machine is nothing but a computer. The code you write in one particular computer cannot be executed on some other computer. Yes, why? Because you written the code as per one machine configurations. That's the reason every programmer first understand about the machine structure, computer structure. First you have to understand. As per the computer structure, you write the program. So that program executes in that machine. Maybe in the next other computer, machine structure may be different. So this program cannot be executed on some other machine. That's the reason as the programs which you write in low level languages are machine dependent. The reason internal design of every type of processor is different from that of other type of processor of some other machines. Yes, internal design, machine to machine, internal design of processors may be different. That is one of the major drawback. And second drawback is the programs are very difficult to write. Low level language programs are very difficult to write and difficult to understand. Yes, maybe although machine language is easily understandable by the computer, but it's very difficult for the human programmers to write the program in this language. Yes, guys, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying is, yes, maybe the programs which you write in low level languages are maybe easily understood by the computers, but not by the human programmers. So that is one drawback, and difficult to write the programs and difficult to understand it. And coming to the next point is difficult to modify. Suppose in case any errors occurs in a suppose in case any errors occurs in a program, and it's very difficult to debug and modify your machine language programs. Very difficult. Why? Because you written the code in the form of zeros and one combination. So wherever the whenever the error occurs, and quite difficult to debug the process and quite difficult to modify the program. That means you spend more time. You spend more time to debug, and you spend more time to modify even a simple program that. And the next drawback is, guys, error prone. So the programs which you write in machine level language or low level languages are error prone. That means chances to generate more errors when you execute the program it. So this is the first language that got implemented, okay, got implemented to write the programs in very last 3-4 decades back. Yes, so people have started researching that what are the advantages in machine level language, what are the drawbacks in that, started research, and how to come up with a better language which can be understandable by the computers. So after doing some research and analysis, then the scientists have developed another language called assembler language or assembly language. We call it as assembly language. Assembly language is a programming language which is very near to human language, but not the human language, very near to human language. But in assembler language, we write the programs using mnemonics. We call it as a mnemonics. What do you mean by mnemonics? So mnemonic is nothing but an abbreviated word for a particular operation. Suppose, say, I want to add the two numbers. Say, I want to add the two numbers. For that, I add one mnemonic. Say, better example. Say mnemonic. Say, add 45, comma 10. That's all. Add is called as a mnemonic. It is an abbreviated word. Add ADD is a mnemonic, nothing but an abbreviated word. That specifies addition mathematical operation. That's nothing but 45 plus 10. Now result is going to be given as 55. Yes, so add is a mnemonic. Like that, there are many mnemonics are available. So only thing is a programmer should able to understand the mnemonics. Using the mnemonics, we write the set of instructions and will execute the program. Now tell me, sir, tell me one thing. Is the mnemonic is understandable by the computer? No, mnemonics cannot be understandable by the computer. Computer can understand, or CPU can understand only zeros and ones, but mnemonics cannot be understandable by the computer. So for that, yes, in assembly languages, we have assembler. There is a one program called assembler. An assembler is a translator. Assembler is a translator that translates the mnemonics to machine understandable language. That is called low level language or machine level language. That means here translation is required. Translation is required. So compared to machine level language programs are executes more faster, but compared to here the program executes with less speed. Why? Because here translator is required. But one advantage is mnemonics can be understandable by the humans and they can easily write the program. So programs can be easily written in alphanumeric symbols instead of zeros and ones. Alphanumeric symbols, that is called mnemonics. Suppose add is one mnemonic, and next one more mnemonic is sub. Say that is a subtraction, and one more mnemonic may be multiplication. Yes, and maybe one more mnemonic is count. Yes, unlike that. And one more mnemonic may be as comparison. CMP is a comparison. These are all called mnemonics. The programmer write the set of instructions of the programs using these mnemonics. But mnemonics are not directly understandable by your computer. So here assembler is a program. That program is responsible for translating these mnemonics to machine understandable code called zeros and ones. Yes, here also there are some advantages and disadvantages in assembly languages. What is the one advantage? Advantage of assembly language over the machine language is that and computational time of assembly language program is less. Yes, computational time is less. And I'm talking about not execution time, computation time. And assembly language program runs, okay, and faster to produce the desired results, okay. And the next drawbacks are program is difficult and time consuming. Disadvantages are you take some time to write the programs and difficult to understand. And one more thing is again assembly language is again machine dependent. Again machine dependent. That is one more drawback. That means the programs which you write in one machine cannot be executed on some other machine. And programs written in assembly language for one computer cannot be used in any other computer. Okay. The reason is assembly language program is not portable. Yes, it's not portable. That means from one machine to other machine, the programs cannot be portable, cannot be executed. So these are some of the drawbacks, okay, in assembler language. Yes. So again, the people have started research on how much the better way we can provide human understandable languages to write the programs more easily. In both the cases, I hope you guys try to understand. The first one is machine level language and second one is assembly level language. In both the cases, programmer finds difficulty in writing the programs, and it's time consuming in both the cases. Yes. So now people started research and so how better the programmer can understand the language more easily, and like say like English language, like natural language, if the programmer can understand it, then they could able to write the programs more easily. That for that, the next level generation of the programming language is high level language. So high level languages are nothing but a language in which each statement is directly, okay, in each statement you write in human understandable format. In high level languages, programming languages, every statement or every instruction is written in, okay, easy understandable English like language. I'm not saying exact English like language you can write the programs. Yes, but say high level languages, the best example is say C, C++, Java, Perl, Python, and Ruby. Oh, there are plenty of the languages, scripting languages or programming languages, which are all developed in high level, okay, languages. Why? Because we write the programs, we write the set of instructions, okay, like the way you write English, okay, sentences, the way you write like English constructions or sentence constructions, in the same way you write in high level languages. One of the high level programming language is called as Python. Yes. What is the advantages of the high level languages means? One is machine independent. Guys, remember machine independent. High level languages are machine independent. It means that the programs which you write in one machine can be executed on some other machine with a slight modifications or without modifications. Yes, nothing but the same point can also be expressed as portable. Portable means the programs which you write, the programs which you have written in a high level language can be executed on some other machines also, okay, with slight modifications or maybe without modifications. The same property can also be called as machine independent, or you can also call it as a portable. And more thing is And high level programming languages are easy to learn. Second advantage, easy to learn, easy to use, and easy to write the programs, and easy to debug, and easy to identify the errors. You can identify the errors more easily. You can debugging that process in maybe in upcoming classes. I'll tell you programming fundamentals and what are the terminologies we have to follow, because you should know about what is a source code, what is object code, what is bytecode, and and there are some kind of terminologies we follow in programming fundamentals. What is debugging, what is bug, what is debugging process, what is an error, and error types like syntax errors, semantic errors, runtime errors. These are all programming fundamentals. Maybe in tomorrow's class we discuss about the programming fundamentals in Python. Yes, so now Python is a high level programming language. That means the programmers can write the programs or instructions, computer instructions, like English language. Yes, more easy to understand, more easy to learn, more easy to understand, more easy to write, more easy to identify the bugs in the program, and more easy to handle the errors. Yes, that is one of the major advantages of high level programming language. Point one, once again I'm saying advantages: easy to use and easy to learn. Second one, easy to debug your program. So most of the people, whenever they write 10-20 lines of the programming code in Python, in case any error comes, they'll easily get stuck up. Yes, but you should debug your program. Yes, you can easily debug your program and which line of the code causing problem. Yes, whether that problem is a syntactical related problem or maybe semantic related problem. Semantic means logic, maybe wrong logic, maybe you written, or maybe some runtime kind of errors. Yes, so that's a that's a reason it's very easy and machine independent. And here, what are the disadvantages you can say? Disadvantage means low efficiency. See guys, low efficiency. So before discuss something about a low efficiency, I say machine language or low level language, machine level language or low level language, you write the programs directly understandable with the computer in the form of zeros and ones. So no translator required, directly executes more faster. When it comes to the assembler language, yes, in assembler language, you write the programs using mnemonics. Mnemonics nothing but an abbreviated words related to particular operation. Yes, but mnemonics again cannot be understandable by the computer directly. So here in assembly language, we need a translator, and the translator translates the mnemonics to machine understandable codes finally to as binary digits called 0 and 1. And when it comes to the high level programming language, again, you're not writing the programs or set of instructions. You're not writing the programs or set of instructions in the binary format. You're writing in human understandable format. In high level language, you're writing the programs in human understandable format, not computer understandable format. So that in a high level language, again, you need translators. Yes, those translators are in the form of either compilers or in the form of interpreters. And maybe in the upcoming classes, I'll tell you the what is compiler and what is interpreter, what is the difference between a compiler and interpreter. Those are called translators. Translates the programs which are written in high level language to machine understandable format. Machine means computer understandable formats. Yes, so this is called guys high level programming languages. Yes, so programs written in high level languages take more time to execute and require more computer main memory is also required. But guys, maybe in tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow's class, you guys can have one very challenging topic. I'm saying that in interviews, this question 100% will be asked. Yes, and is Python is a compiled based programming language, or Python is a interpreter based programming language? Yes, exactly. There is no documentation is available, okay, and saying Python is compiled based or Python is interpreter based. But according to the bookish knowledge, according to the documents, the people says Python is a interpreter based programming language. But that statement even is not absolutely 100% correct to say it's a Python is an interpreter based programming language. That's what yesterday, I hope you remember my words in last minutes of closing our session. Yes, the world is so complicated. Yes, the way we say the world is so complicated in understanding, in the same way, guys, in coming to this particular point, the question comes as while Python is compiled based or interpreter based, most of the programmers get confused to make an answer in the interviews. Yes, this is one of the very challenging topic in conceptual part. This is of course a theory part. Yes, for that maybe we can give a very good convincing answer. You can convince the interviewers by saying that whether it's compiled based or interpreter based. Yes, and coming to guys here, I'm giving four important points to remember. Python definition. So tomorrow somebody can ask you Python definitions. I'm going to write the definitions one by one. Definitions we are going to explain it. The point one, yes, we say, and yes, sorry, and Python is a say general purpose say and programming and language. Yes, and some people say some, not some people, this is the definitions again, say, and Python is a high level programming language, and some people say Python is a as interpreter based and say and programming and language, and say again Python is a. So these all definitions we have to understand very clearly. For every point, I'll send you one document to you people to understand clearly. So today I will send you two documents to all the people, those who have given the mail ID. Why Python is called as a general purpose programming language. For that, I'll send you one document. And why Python is called as a high level programming language. For that, I'll send you the document which that includes both machine level language, low level language, assembly language, and high level language. Now next topic is Python is a interpreter based programming language, and next one is Python is dynamic, okay, and programming, okay, language. Yes, so yes, so in a single word you can say Python is a general purpose, high level, interpreter based dynamic programming language. Yes, so again, some people will give one more word like Python is a procedure oriented programming language. Python is a object oriented programming. These are all points one by one we are going to discuss, guys. I hope you guys in today's session, I hope you understand about why Python is a high level programming language. Guys, remember high level programming language is nothing but a guys, okay, the languages, okay, which are very near to human understandable. High level languages are very near to human understandable languages, not exactly human understandable, near to human understandable languages, easy to understand by humans and easy to write the programs and time saving, but low efficiency. Why? Because translators are required. Yes, so that's a reason. Just to tell the single point like high level programming language, I started the discussion from low level language called machine language. Next generation is assembly language, that's called second generation languages, and third generation language is called as a high level programming languages. If anybody asks you what are the examples of high level programming languages, you can say Java, .NET, Python, C, C++, Perl, JavaScript, yes, Ruby on Rails. Oh, there are plenty of the programming languages. These are all comes under, yes, high level programming languages that. Okay, I hope you guys have very clear about this particular point it, and maybe guys you please okay, raise your okay clarifications. Now I'm giving some time to you people. Yes, the things is that here Hardeep Singh, good, and Sai Venkatesh. Today I attended the class, and Sai, don't worry about it. I can give them a recorded session and I'll explain your doubts. Sai Venkatesh. Sai, can you give your number and mail ID? Then I can talk to you personally after attending the class, after completion of this class. Yes, this is a just okay. It's a it's a second class. Okay, and second, this is a demo session only. I really did not start the real Python. Okay, and it's a demo session. Why? Because yesterday and today we conducted the demo session, and maybe from tomorrow onwards, okay, and real actual Python okay syllabus I will explain you to all people what I'm going to be cover, and then I will tell you what kind of the projects I'm going to give you to at the end of the session to okay to develop the project, or we call it as a case study applications. Okay, and what kind of the support I am going to give you in the different kinds of aspects of our learning the syllabus that. And today is also a demo session that I hope at least you can understand the bit information on this high level programming language. Yes, and tomorrow the first class gets starts. Yes, and Sai Venkatesh, can you please, if you don't mind, can you give your number and mail ID? Okay, is given. Sai Venkatesh. Okay, is given mail ID. And Kaitapal Ramesh, sir, I also want some help from your side. Rakesh, if you don't mind, can you give your number as soon as, because today is Sunday, this is the only one session I'm having. So certainly I can talk to all the people personally, and I will call and I'll clarify your doubts regarding career perspective, or maybe if you have some gap in after engineering or something gap that those all these things I can, because we cannot talk among all the people, and I can talk you personally. And Rakesh, can you give your mail ID and the number? And one more thing, nobody will trouble you until okay I am the only person will call you. Okay, and other persons, maybe my other admin staffs, they don't trouble you repeatedly by calling you people that. Yes, Rakesh number please note down. First is Sai Venkatesh, and please note down Rakesh Katepalli 630 5636 Sir, if anybody is missing in giving the numbers from the attendees list, and sorry for Hardeep Singh is already given the details. Rakesh is given. Rahul Singh, Shankar, can you please drop your number and mail ID? I think Shankar is not given the number, I think. Okay, Shankar, thank you. And so today, whoever given the mobile numbers to all the persons, maybe, okay, it's a better to, I can call you from evening 4 o'clock. I will start calling from all the people. Is it okay, guys? After 4, I will start communicate with you people. And between 4 and 7, between, okay, one by one, I'll call and discuss with personally. Whatever the doubts you are having, okay, without any hesitation, okay, you can, okay, you can ask the questions regarding some Rakesh is saying about send materials. So sure, today I'm going to send you 2 documents to you people about what is a general purpose programming language and high level programming language. 2 documents. I hope, I think in the demo session yesterday, I told you to everybody, yes, on every topic, on everyday session. That means we said this course is for 2 months, maybe 1 week, maybe increases because of doubts and other things. Not more than that time will increase. And I will provide you recording sessions in our YouTube channel. Okay. And our YouTube channel details will be given to you through mail IDs. And you can look at Pylabs Technologies YouTube channel. And also the documents will be given for every topic. So 60 days means 60 sessions. As for every session, minimum 2 documents you will get it. So tomorrow, if I talk Python data types, suppose maybe if I say Python data types, on Python data types, I can send you at least 2 documents. Okay. Initially, I'm going to send it to you. The reason is later I want to keep all these posts in our blog. Okay, because our website is still under bit modifications and constructions part. Yes, so that's the reason we have a general blog, also website blog. In everywhere I'm going to keep on every topic minimum, okay, 2 to 3 posts. I'm going to keep it, depends on the importance of the topic. If the highly important topic, like there are some Python data types like list, tuple, dictionary, functions, anonymous functions, user defined functions, lambda functions, exceptions. When these kind of topics comes, on every topic minimum 3 to 4, okay, posts, blog post gets available to you with a simple English which can be easily understandable by everybody. Yes, apart from regular course material, any regular course material we are going to keep on our website. Okay, we are going to send it to you. Yes, apart from that, okay, this blog post you are going to get it. And quiz, if you want to write a quiz on every topic, you can write it. And if you want to, and one more thing, for everybody on every topic, not only blog posts, we are going to give assignments also. Every day you will get assignments. For that, there is separate technical team is there, and those team will take care of preparing all these assignments and will deliver to you immediately on the same day. Okay, maybe the batch gets completes, once the batch gets completes by 8 o'clock, maybe by afternoon you'll get all these things. Okay, in case if you don't get it immediately, you can message me. I will follow up and I will take care of these things to be copied. Ramesh, yes, your mail ID is noted. Okay, don't worry about it. And Rahul Singh is given okay, mail ID. Rahul, did you give your phone number? Yes. And Venkatesh, sure. Okay, I can, you given your number, yes. At the same time, you note down the number. Okay, you can also call to you people, note down this number. You can also call to this number. Yes. And 980, just 1 minute. I will, yes, 980 999 888 Guys, please, okay, 980 999 888 You can even call to this number, no problem at all. Okay, even, okay, anytime, like up to night. Okay, maybe if I'm in classes, because I have some classes like data science, machine learning classes are there. So once maybe I don't lift the phone, if I have a classes or in session. Otherwise, certainly after, okay, after some time, certainly I will give the reply to your, okay, call that. Okay, so please don't mind that if some, maybe sometimes I maybe visit that. Yes, you can call me or you can message me. No problem at all that. Yes, Srinivas has given the number. Please note down, Win, that 800-863. Srinivas, we noted down the number. Okay, and totally there are 8 members are there. Hardeep Singh and Rakesh is given, Rahul Singh and Sai Venkatesh, Shankar, Srinivas, Venu. Okay, and tomorrow some more participants may be joined. Today Sunday, I think people have okay, not reached. Rakesh, maybe material maybe you will get by 2 or 3 o'clock. Okay, why? Because once the topic is over, okay, then I will prepare the material. Okay, and I'll ask them to, okay, send it to you people mail IDs. Okay, generally when the batch gets over by, okay, 8 o'clock, no, because we need, because the recordings we have to keep recording, we have to download it, session recording, and after downloading that we'll keep it in YouTube channel. At the same time, okay, the blog post they will prepare it, assignments they'll prepare. Now assignments may not be there. Why? Because these are all theoretical concepts. Until, okay, next two to 3 sessions we'll go with some theoretical concepts. Okay, once that gets completed, you are going to get regularly assignments and test questions, quizzes, all the things we'll get it. Okay, and thank you one and all, and a happy Sunday. And tomorrow we are going to meet by 7 o'clock and we'll start the first class of Python programming that. And tomorrow, and I'll explain you the syllabus part also first, then I'll start the session. That tomorrow is the first class for our Python thing. That demos are over, no more further demos are going to be conducted, and finally tomorrow the session gets starts that. And don't worry about the features part and everything. First listen it. First listen. If you are comfortable with my teaching and the delivery, and then you people can decide it. Okay. And thank you very much. And tomorrow we are going to meet at morning 7. Thank you guys.